This is your fault. Everything is ruined because of you.
Please, no more.
It was about 11:45 p.m. a night that felt like the bottom of a coffee cup, just thick dark, and going nowhere fast. I was rolling through that dead stretch of the Arizona desert, you know, the one where the air conditioner in the truck stops is always broken, and the only light is from the full moon and a few flickering fluorescents at the Route 19 diner. And fuel stop. I had been on the road since sunup. My Harley, the Black Widow, rumbling right along. And I was running on fumes. Literally. I pull up to the pump, kill the engine, and that silence hits you. It's always deafening out there. I reach for my wallet, but then I hear it. A sound you can't unhear, not when you've been around as long as I have. A quiet, desperate, hiccuping kind of crying. I glance over to the next pump. Standing there is a girl, maybe 19, tiny, with a faded sweatshirt pulled tight around her shoulders, even though it was still 90 degrees. She's leaning against a beat-up silver Honda Civic, and she's counting coins, quarters and dimes, laying them out on the pump like they're pieces of a puzzle she can't solve. Her hands were shaking so bad, she kept losing count and having to start all over again. I saw a few silver piles, maybe $3 total. The needle on her fuel gauge was pinned to E. I just watched for a second, feeling that familiar tug in my gut. I'm Max, by the way. They call me Rattler. I've been riding with the Ironwheel MC for over 40 years, and I've learned two things: never ask a man what he's doing, and never ignore a woman in real distress. She finishes counting, looks at the $3.15, looks at the empty tank, and the tears just start streaming, silent and fast. She swipes them away, ashamed, but they keep coming. I slide my credit card into my pump, hit the premium button, and then I walk over to her pump. I slot my card right in without a word, hit the regular button, and let the pump start clicking. Her head snaps up, eyes wide with terror, not relief. She grabs my arm. Her grip was surprisingly strong, fueled by pure panic. "Stop, please, mister, please, stop it now. He'll kill me," she begged, her voice a ragged whisper. The pump was already running, and I just look at her, a big, bearded old man in black leather, trying to keep my voice flat and boring. "Too late, sweetheart. It's already going. Don't worry about it. No, you don't understand." Her eyes darted toward the brightly lit convenience store entrance. "Shane, my boyfriend, he's inside getting his cigarettes. If he sees you doing this, he'll think I asked for it. He'll think I'm trying to leave him. You have to stop." That's when the first pieces fell into place. The $3.15, the desperation, the name Shane. It all sounded like a cage. "How much does he usually let you put in?" I asked, keeping my gaze on the pump display. She whispered, just barely audible over the hum of the machine, "Whatever those coins buy. Enough for maybe half a gallon. Just enough to get me back to his trailer." The pump kept running, clicking past $10, $20, $30. I let it run until it hit $45.02 and clicked off with a satisfying thunk. A full tank. She stared at the number, utterly paralyzed, her face pale as bone. Oh God, what did you just do? He's literally going to murder me. He monitors everything." I already knew the answer to the unspoken question, but I asked it anyway, just to confirm the horror. "Why would your boyfriend kill you over me buying gas?" She didn't have to answer. I saw the deep, purple-green splotches on the inside of her thin arms, visible only because she'd unconsciously pushed her sleeves up while counting the change. She immediately snatched her cuffs back down. "Please, just go, biker," she pleaded, her voice breaking entirely. "If you stay, you're just making it worse. He'll think I planned this little escape party. I wasn't going anywhere. I'm not leaving you here to be beaten for accepting an act of charity, kid." And then, her whole body just went rigid, like a startled deer. "He's coming." The glass door of the gas station swung open. Out walks Shane, early 20s, maybe, all cheap cologne and bad temper, wearing a wife-beater shirt that showcased tattoos that looked like they were drawn with a leaky ballpoint pen, mostly prison ink. He spotted me, a large biker standing next to his terrified girl, next to a pump displaying $45.02, and his face instantly curdled into something ugly. "What the hell is this?" Shane snarled, closing the distance in 3 long strides. He shoved his face right into the girl's. "I leave you for 5 minutes to fetch my smokes, and you're out here begging strangers for a goddamn date? Did you ask this old relic for cash?" "I didn't ask him for anything, Shane," she cried, the tears starting again. He cuts her off, grabbing her forearm with a sickening speed and force, making her let out a little, choked-off sound of pain, a whimper of pure muscle memory. Nobody fills up a full tank, Alara, unless someone is asking. "Did you think you were finally going to run, huh?" He shook her arm hard. I took a slow, deliberate step forward, planting my boot firmly on the asphalt. My voice, when it came, was low, calm, and heavier than the desert heat. "The only thing she asked for," I said, looking Shane right in the eye, "was for me to stop. I paid for the gas because I saw a young woman standing there shaking with $3 in her hand. She didn't beg. She didn't ask. I just did it." Shane looked me up and down. 6'3", 250 pounds, vest covered in the ironwool patch and 40 years of dust, blood, and road grime. An old biker who had long ago stopped caring about punk kids. He spat near my boot. "Mind your own damn business, Grandpa. Get in the car, Alara." Now, she started to move, drawn by the raw, dangerous command in his voice. I stepped around her, placing myself squarely between Shane and the driver's side door of the Civic. "I don't think," I said, my hand resting lightly on the cool metal of the pump handle, "that she wants to go with you." Shane actually laughed. It was a sharp, brittle sound, completely without humor. "Are you serious right now, tough guy? You think you're a hero?" He gestured wildly. "Alara, tell this old dude you want to come with me. Tell him you're fine." I ignored him and looked at her. Her face was a mask of despair, her arms wrapped around her midsection, crying silently again. "Alara," I said, as gently as I could manage, trying to pierce the fear that had entombed her. "Look at me. Look at my eyes. Do you feel safe going home with him? Give me the truth." "Right now," Shane roared, trying to drown me out. "She's perfectly fine, old man. She's just being dramatic." But Alara wasn't looking at him. She was looking at me, at the patch on my vest, at the heavy, honest stillness in my stance. And she whispered to words, barely a breath, to words that changed the course of that whole night, to words that felt like a shotgun blast in the silence of the desert. "Get me out." And that was it. The line was drawn. Shane's eyes went dark, and he exploded, swinging a wild, amateur right hook aimed at the side of my head. I'd been waiting for it. The next few seconds happened in a blur of pure instinct, 40 years of muscle memory kicking in. The next few seconds happened in a blur of pure instinct, 40 years of muscle memory kicking in. Shane's swing was wide, fueled by fury, not training. My left hand shot out and caught his wrist midair. It felt like catching a rotten apple, soft and weak beneath the leather jacket of his self-importance. I didn't hit him, not yet. I just twisted and shoved, using his own momentum against him, slamming him hard against the side of the silver Honda with a satisfying thud. 20 years working construction, hauling rebar and breaking concrete had kept this old frame strong. Shane was pinned, breathing hard, his face inches from the dirty window glass, looking utterly shocked that his bully tactics didn't work on me. "Let me go, you psycho." He started screaming, immediately flipping the script. "Somebody call the cops." He assaulted me. I held him there, feeling the adrenaline buzz, but keeping my voice low and level. "That, Shane, is a great idea. Let's bring the authorities here. I'd love for them to see the 2 active warrants you probably have, and while they're at it, they can take a closer look at the fresh bruises on your girlfriend's arms. You want the cops? You got 'em." The universe, it seemed, agreed with me. In the distance, cutting through the desert silence, we heard the unmistakable, rising wail of sirens. Someone at the diner must have seen the confrontation start and actually called it in. 2 squad cars pulled in, lights flashing red and blue across the gas pumps, turning the ordinary scene into a movie set. 2 officers approached slowly. "Sir, release the suspect and step back." The first officer commanded, drawing his taser, standard protocol. I let Shane go. He stumbled away from the car, immediately launching into a theatrical display, shouting about how the old psycho biker, had jumped him for no reason. The officer looked from Shane's hysterical face to my calm, dust-covered one. "Is that true, sir?" "No," I said simply. I stopped him from grabbing his girlfriend, Alara, who is visibly terrified of him, and as you can see, she's covered in his handiwork. The second officer, a sharp-eyed woman, ignored the drama queen Shane and walked straight toward Alara, who had quietly collapsed onto the curb, pulling her sweatshirt sleeves over her wounds. "Mum, are you injured? Do you need a medic?" the officer asked gently. Alara just shook her head, tears leaking down her face. "I just want to go home," she sobbed, the phrase laced with aching longing. "To my sister's place back in Nevada. Shane made me move here 6 months ago. He said no one would look for me in this wasteland." Then, the first officer's radio crackled that tinny, official voice cutting through the tension. "We've got to active warrants on A. Shane Kinsley, felony domestic battery in Utah, and failure to appear in Wyoming for aggravated assault." Shane's face went from indignant red to a sickly, ashen white. "Those are mistakes," he stammered, his voice losing all its power. They didn't waste time. They cuffed him right there at the pump, placing him in the back of a cruiser while he screamed empty, impotent threats at Alara, threats that no one in that moment took seriously anymore. The cage had finally closed. After the squad cars drove off, Alara stood up slowly, dusting off her sweatshirt. She walked over to me, and I saw her pull her sleeves up, intentionally this time, to show me the kaleidoscope of bruises, yellow, purple, green on her arms. "You saved my life," she whispered. "He did this yesterday because I smiled at the cashier too long. He never let me have more than $3 for gas, so I could never leave. I was finally going to try today, but I only had the coins, and I knew I wouldn't make it 50 miles. My anger, which had been a low, steady burn, shook my hands now. Not rage at Shane, just a cold, heavy sadness for what some men do to women. A domestic violence advocate arrived to take Alara to a shelter. Before she left, I pulled out my wallet, found all the cash I had, and gave her $300. "I can't take this," she protested, shaking her head. "You can, and you will," I told her firmly. "You'll take it, and you'll get yourself home to Nevada, safely." She hugged me then, burying her face into my leather vest. "How do I ever pay you back, Max?" I held her for a moment, a lifetime of road dust, bad decisions, and forgotten kindnesses weighing on me. "You pay me back by helping someone else who needs it someday. That's how the good stuff gets cycled through the world." 2 weeks later, I called the shelter. The advocate told me Alara had made it home. She'd left something for me. I rode back and received a thick envelope. Inside was a letter and a small, folded picture. The letter, her handwriting was neat. Slightly hesitant read, "Dear Mr. Sterling, I'm home. I'm safe. You gave me back my freedom and my life. I'm enrolling in college for social work to help other women escape. Because of you, I get to have dreams again. Forever grateful, Alara." The picture was a simple selfie, Alara smiling, truly smiling for the first time. I carry that photo in my wallet now. 3 years have passed since that night at the pump. Alara graduated and now works at a domestic violence shelter in Nevada. She mails me sometimes, always with updates on the women she's saved. Last month, she sent a photo of herself standing proudly next to her brand new sedan. Her message simply read, "Bought it myself with my first big paycheck. And yes, Max, it always has a full tank. Thank you for teaching me I deserved better than $3 and a lifetime of bruises." Shane got 15 years in the state penitentiary for his multiple charges. He won't hurt another soul for a long, long time. I never see someone in trouble now without stopping. Never. I stopped telling myself it's none of my business, because that 19-year-old girl counting $3 in dimes needed someone to see her pain, to ask her if she felt safe, to care enough to actually help. That night, the night I filled a stranger's gas tank, it was the moment I realized what my patch, what my club, was really about. As our club president, an old man named Zeke, always says, we protect the vulnerable. That's what real bikers do. We see trouble, and we stop. A full tank of gas gave Alara the fuel to escape. $300 got her home. And one old biker asking, "Do you feel safe?" changed her entire future. Now Lara saves other women the same way. One full tank, one escape route, one simple, courageous question at a time. Sometimes heroes wear leather vests instead of capes. Sometimes they ride Harleys instead of white horses. And sometimes all they do is fill up a gas tank for a crying girl who only has $3 and a secret full of bruises. So, here's my question for you all. I didn't call the police immediately. I physically intervened first. I slammed that guy against a car. Was I right to take justice into my own hands? Or should I have just called 911 and walked away? Where does the line blur between being a responsible citizen and being a vigilante? Tell me your thoughts below. And if you believe that sometimes an old biker is exactly the hero someone needs, hit that like button and subscribe to see more stories from the road. Let's hear your take.